Wrestling fans, welcome to this week's edition of Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. I'm your host, Boyd Pierce, and our guest commentator, Cowboy Bill Watts, has just returned from an important meeting of the Board of Directors of Mid-South Wrestling in Tampa, Florida. We have some shocking news and a landmark decision that has been made, and you'll understand it when we show you some of the things, and Bill will explain them as they come up. But I want to tell you, in over 30 years of announcing professional wrestling and being connected with this wonderful sport, 9 years right here on national TV and being with Mid-South Wrestling ever since its inception at the only host that it's ever had. I want to tell you something. Through those years, I have been with organizations, with federations, associations, and alliances, but I've never found one yet that had the guts, courage, or intestinal fortitude, whatever adjective you might want to add, to really carry out something, to regulate the rules and regulations of this great sport. And you all know that in our wonderful world of professional wrestling, we have contestants that goes right to the line of breaking those rules. Some of them step over and are reprimanded, but something needs to be done with teeth. And Mid-South Wrestling, my friends, has never forgotten you fans who pay and buy a ticket in the arenas wherever you attend the matches, and you fans that open up your homes week after week to give us the great ratings that we have on all of our stations. Mid-South Wrestling knows that you're the reason and the backbone of their success. They'll never let you down, and when they feel like you have been cheated, they intend to do something about it. Bill?
Well, thank you, Boyd. I think you've said it all. The whole thing went back to 2 weeks ago, and the North American title that you see here is the bone of contention. That first of all, and must be clear-cut, and has always been established, that no champion makes his own matches. All championship matches must be sanctioned by Mid-South Wrestling. 2 weeks ago, Hacksaw Butch Reed came and said he would wrestle on TV and defend the North American title. He already had a Mid-South tag title match that he and Neidhart had challenged Dugan and Magnum TA. It had already been signed. Grizzly got the match sanctioned by Mid-South. Charlie Lay, he called him long distance in Tampa, and Charlie said, sure, if he wants to wrestle in 2 title matches, that's fine. But then he also stipulated that he would let the people pick the opponent. And let's join in, as Reeser Boughton was having a runoff, there was 4 opponents that were brought out in front of the people: Darso, TA, Dugan, and the Dog. And it was very close between Dugan and the Dog, and Reeser Boughton had a runoff between them. And let's see just who the people selected to be the opponent for the North American title.
Let's do that again between these 2 men. Hacksaw Duggan. Let's hear it. Or would the audience prefer the Junkyard Dog? That seems pretty obvious to me. Looks like it's the Junkyard Dog.
Reed definitely had an ulterior motive in his planning. He figured to force Magnum TA into a North American title match and injure him, thereby making it easier for Neidhart and he to collect the Mid-South tag titles. But he used that type of demented psychology to try to make fools out of all the fans of Mid-South Wrestling and the Mid-South matchmaker and everybody involved. And Mid-South just isn't going to stand for it. And let's see, as I interviewed Butch Reed and talking about JYD being his opponent that night, let's just see how this developed.
You mean you're eliminating these 3 people? You haven't said anything about Magnum TA. Are you going to eliminate him also?
No, I'm eliminating 3. And that leaves, I just named the 3 that I have eliminated. And that leaves Magnum TA.
Now, wait a minute. Let me make sure I understand this. You came to Grizzly Smith. You said for the people to pick you an opponent. They have picked the Junkyard Dog. You're eliminating the Dog, Dugan, and Darso, and you're selecting Magnum TA. You just beat Magnum TA right here on TV a couple of weeks ago. That's not the agreement. The agreement was you'd wrestle who they picked.
He is the only formidable opponent that I have with any credentials in the wrestling ring to face me now.
What kind of contractual basis is that?
The contractual rights is right here, Bill Watts, in black and white, that I get the last say-so in my match that I have. And I chose for myself Magnum TA. If you or Mid-South don't like it, then there will be no title match.
Magnum TA felt that he'd been made a fool of also. but he's a young man with a lot of courage, and he couldn't back down and didn't back down. Grizzly Smith met during the commercial break with Orville Richards, the Deputy Louisiana State Athletic Commissioner. They sanctioned a special referee, the Junkyard Dog, and we'll see the closing moments of that match where Reed's apple cart was upset. Magnum and Reed. Oh, again Reed powers out. It's really tit for tat. Dog sees just how hard it is to be a referee out there. I think sometimes Dog and these guys get a little upset about the referees getting in the way. They see it's just impossible in a ring that's 20 by 20, crowded with 260, 270-pound men. Reed going to the top to come off on TA. Dog saying, no, don't come off. It's an automatic DQ. The dog sacrificed. The dog sacrificed. The dog sacrificed himself for Magnum TA, and Reed just came on off. He was intentionally going for the injury on Magnum TA to hurt him for that later tag bout. But he powered off on the dog. Now he power slams Magnum TA. Again, Reed didn't care about getting disqualified. He's out there to injure Magnum TA. So even the dog, if the dog disqualifies him, but now the dog is hurt. Dog hit him. Dog hit Butch Reed. Look at Dog. Dog just popped Butch Reed.
And listen to the howl, Bill.
Dog just popped Butch Reed. Whoa! Belly to belly. Dog counted it down.
Got him. He got him, and the referee Junkyard Dog called for the bell. There's the belt.
A new champion. A new North American champion, Boyd Pierce.
Referee Junkyard Dog hands the belt and raises the hand of the winner and new North American heavyweight title holder, Magnum TA.
Hacksaw Butch Reed lodged a protest saying that he should have been disqualified, which would have kept the title. That, in a matter of fact, it was apparent that he was deliberately trying to get disqualified by jumping off on TA, and the Junkyard Dog dove in for the save. Mid-South demanded the tapes be sent to Tampa. They were reviewed, and it should have been a disqualification. In the meantime, Magnum TA, the champion, was again challenged publicly on television by Nikolai Volkov, a Russian who has just been bragging, and it puts your very patriotism to a test. And he challenged Magnum TA for New Orleans last week, challenged him to either put the title up, and if he couldn't beat him for the title, he'd leave the United States. And Magnum couldn't resist it, but again, he didn't have the right to make and accept that. The only people that accept it is the matchmaker or the Mid-South representatives. Let's watch that interview.
Now, Magnum PA, I have this match with you now, but let's go make this match. Put your title there. I want to see if you are coward enough, if you have enough guts to come there and face me for the title. Let's take, winner take it all. Let me tell you, I promise, I give you my word of honor. If I don't squash you, look at this here, Russian missile. If they don't squash you, knock you down. If I don't take the title away from you, I will leave the United States. I will leave this country. I will never show up my face like here.
Well, you heard his challenge, and you heard what he said. If he can't win that title, he'll leave the country.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. First of all, this is the greatest accomplishment of my wrestling career right here. Nobody ever believed that I'd beat Butch Reed to begin with for this North American title. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do all the people in New Orleans, all the people in the United States a favor to shut up that loudmouth Russian. It only takes 3 seconds, Volkov, for me to hit you with that belly-to-belly suplex and put your shoulders down the mat. 3 seconds. And that can happen to anybody on a given day, as I proved right here when I won this title with the fair officiating, my good old JYD. That's what it takes. You got to have good officiating. You got to have all the things going for you at the right time to come out ahead. But I'm going to do that right there in New Orleans. I'm going to put my title up on the line.
As you see, Volkov's ridiculing the United States and their athletes. Magnum TA stood up as best he could. But last week in New Orleans, Nikolai Volkov defeated Magnum TA and carried off the North American title belt. However, Mid-South, although sometimes the wheels of justice grind slow, they do grind. And Charlie Lay and them called me down, and I was at an important meeting this week. But first, before we hear their decision, let's hear Volkov in his braggadocious interview about now being the North American champion.
Hej Sloveni, hej ruski narod, ja sam došao ovdje, ja sam pobjedio amerikanskog wrestla, ja sam pobjednik, ja sam the champion. I come here and I tell my Russian friends that I come here because American coward athletes, they didn't show up in the Russian Olympics because they were scared. They were scared to face better and stronger and superior Russian athletes, even say better looking Russian athletes. That's why I come here and I fight the best American, the champion, and I beat them, and now I am the new American world champion. And I go change this, not North America, but the Russian champion, because we are the best. And I hear the Russian wrestler, he go hit any America who even try to come close to this belt.
And now for the decision, and I think it takes a tremendous amount of courage for Mid-South. But Mid-South has decided that, first of all, no champion has ever been allowed to make his own championship matches. That would be ridiculous. Then you could have a champion not giving an opponent that was worthwhile a title shot the title. He could be picking easy opponents. Or he could be ridiculed into matches before a guy had proven his worth, just like Magnum TA. And without a doubt, Volkov is probably a heavier gun at this point in his life than Magnum TA. So they cannot make their own matches. The second and most important thing is that the stipulation was that the fans could pick the contender for that original championship match here on TV, and they picked the Junkyard Dog, and then Butch Reed used it to ridicule the fans in Mid-South, and they're not going to stand for it. So the decision has been the North American title has been stripped from Mr. Russia. Mr. Volkov it's been stripped. It was not a sanctioned match. Magnum TA did not win it. That was not a sanctioned match. The title reverts back to Hacksaw Butch Reed, but there will be a sanctioned match with one special ingredient. That match will be coming up. The match will be against the man the people picked, the Junkyard Dog, and Mid-South will send a special troubleshooting referee, a main wrestler. We have not been informed who he is, but he will appear here at match time to referee that match, and that final outcome will be who is the North American champion. And we'll be back with that right after these words from the Mid-South Wrestling Network.
This is a title match for the North American Heavyweight Championship. This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner, at 260 pounds from Kansas City, Missouri, the North American Heavyweight Champion, Hacksaw Butch Reed. Coming into the ring now, the opponent that the audience chose themselves at 295 pounds from Tennessee, the Junkyard Dog.
This event.
And we're waiting right now for the referee that has been chosen by Mid-South Wrestling, the very special referee, to come into the ring right now. We've got a special referee that has been appointed by Mid-South Wrestling.
I got 2 Super Bowls for you.
We're waiting right here to see who this shirt fits. Well, here comes the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty Rhodes is the special referee.
Well, Boyd, I'll tell you, I'm just like you. Chill bumps are broken out of me. I'm so proud of Mid-South. And Dusty Rhodes, they must have paid a pretty penny to get him. And did you notice the music when the dog came out is the old dog music, Another One Bites the Dust. I think the dog was really disappointed. A lot of the life was taken out of him when the fans had selected him and he got cheated out of that match. Of course, the Russian Nikolai Volkov, he is livid. And there's the American Dream, and brought in here specially to be this referee. And whoever wins this match by whatever method is going to be the North American champion. And of course, Dog's been having a lot of trouble with Butch Reed and his new partner, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, as has Hacksaw Dugan. Butch Reed's calling himself the Legend Buster. He says he's been beating the Junkyard Dog in all the matches. The dog has been made famous. And Reed has really been on a roll, but it's been with a lot of help from a heavy-duty hitter called Jim the Anvil Neidhart. But with the American Dream, the referee, and as he gives the instructions. There you have it, Boyd. And this is the match the fans made 2 weeks ago. And I really think Mid-South is courageous because he said that without the fans, what are we? And the fans made the match. That's the way it was sanctioned. And we're not letting Butch Reed take away what he had agreed to and make fools of the fans and make fools of Mid-South. So now it's up to Jay White, inside cradle. Dusty's right down for the count. We almost had a quick one. Reed better get off his mind the fact that the Dream is the referee. Look at this crowd. They're just seething with excitement. You know, a year ago today, we had an unusual thing, was when a man was in a gorilla suit in the audience when the state fair is going on, which is going on now outside the Irish O'Neill Boys Club, the Louisiana State Fair here at Shreveport. And they forced the Junkyard Dog to have to leave Louisiana. Of course, thereafter Stagger Lee appeared. Junkyard Dog seems like Butch Reed has taken a little life out of him. He rode with him, went up down the highways with him, and then Butch Reed said he wanted what the dog had, but instead of earning it on his own, he wanted to shortcut it by taking it away from the dog, by robbing the dog of what he'd built up. And he said the dog had gotten too heavy, that he'd gotten out of shape. And then Butch Reed in that famous Superdome match with Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and with King Kong Bundy, they flat stole the North American title from the dog. And Dog's been down before, and he's had a lot of adversity. He's always felt that given a chance, he could come back and he could take it and deliver it. And then the people selected him over his good friend Jim Dugan, and Dugan congratulated him and wished him well because they're very, very close. And the dog was all set for that big title match, and then had it just snatched out of his grasp whimsically, diabolically by Reed, who was trying to then upset Magnum TA and injure him so he and Neidhart could steal the Mid-South titles, which they were successful in doing. Reverse chinlock here. I think it took a lot of fire out of the dog, and I think a lot of the fans were disappointed. I certainly was. I never felt so silly in my life when Reed's sitting out there calling me a sucker and saying it's either TA or nobody and walking off. And of course, I got to credit TA with a lot of courage. I got to credit Grizzly Smith with trying to make a best of a bad situation. And then Reed's own protest helped right the wheels of justice. There was Reed saying it should have been a disqualification. Give me my title back. Well, they did. The man, I think, no matter what, who has really been cheated and who's really upset about it is Nikolai Volkov. But he's got to learn that he can't go around and bully people and threaten them. And when they stand up for what they think is right, that it's all of a sudden a sanctioned match. Again, the whole thing gets down as to who can sanction title matches. It can only be done by Mid-South, through Grizzly Smith, through Charlie Lay, and the board of directors.
Bill, I've been talking fast, you've been talking fast, reviewing incidents that have happened, but we want to slow down and tell the fans where everybody will know this is a sanctioned North American Heavyweight Championship match.
Right, with the opponent in there that the fans had selected 2 weeks ago. Magnum TA also against Missy Link. Jerry Oates, a former North American champion, will be wrestling Nikolai Volkov. Also, the Iceman, King Parsons from Dallas will be here. Big Bobby Duncan, King Cobra, sighting card. Whoa! That was a stiff forearm right into the chops. JYD went for the headbutt. He's wanting to go home with it. There'll be some chances taken, some high-risk moves. Butch Reed, I'll tell you something, you can't take it away from him. That man's in shape. Like he says, I push him to the limit. He is tough. He's in shape, and he's hungry. He wants it. There's something about those people that don't want to pay for it. They want to steal it. There he's down on JYD. Dusty calling for the break because he's the choke. But you see how you can hedge even the rules there. You got a 4 count to break, and 4 more seconds of shutting off that precious supply of oxygen to a man can slowly but surely wear him down. Now Reed threatening Dusty Rhodes, but he certainly doesn't want to get disqualified because I know that Mid-South has said that the winner, no matter by what method, is going to be the champion. First chinlock by Reed now. The fans chanting for the dog, and like I say, the old dog music. Another one bites the dust. It's like the dog is getting back to his old self. Old self, I talk about that just his experienced self. He's still a youngster in this business. In his early 30s, a tremendous career ahead of him. Uh-oh. Looks like Dusty was a little out of position right there. He's asking Reed, Dog was powering out into a top wrist lock. The crowd, listen to the crowd. They're trying to help out too. You think they're not 100% united behind the Junkyard Dog. A man that's given a lot of himself, visited children in burn wards, gone to teen clubs, made public appearances, has never forgotten just what made him. The people made him. And he's always felt he should get back to the beat there. Reed again, reverse chin lock. JYD. JYD fighting out, fighting hard. Battling Reed. JYD is in a tough battle with Butch Reed. It's in that corner. Headlock. Oh, the Dream's in the way. Oh, what a collision, what a collision. Seems like no matter what happens, Butch Reed keeps coming up with it. Crowd chanting for Dugan. They want Dugan, but it's up to Dusty Rhodes out there to handle this match. Powerful slam by Butch Reed. Reed going up to do that slingshot, that devastating slingshot off the top rope we've seen him do. But he underestimated the dog. The dog slams him up. Look at the howl. Listen to the dog howl. He knows he's getting it. Here comes Neidhart. Neidhart's behind the dog and he doesn't see him. Neidhart tackles the dog. He tripped the dog. Neidhart tripped the dog in. Oh, the dog is still alive. He's still cooking. There's Neidhart coming from behind, but there's the Dream. Dumping the bionic elbow. The Dream dumping the bionic elbow. He's got Neidhart out of there. The Mid-South knew what they were doing when they sent the American Dream to be the special referee. Look at that howl. Cold-blooded, curdling howl. The JYD. There he's got Reed up in the thump. And here comes Neidhart. Dusty Rhodes.
1, 2, 3.
People's champion, the Junkyard Dog.
There he is, the Junkyard Dog with the old music, his old self, and look at that physique. And he raised his hand high, the special referee, Dusty Rhodes, the new North American Heavyweight Champion, the Junkyard Dog. We'll be back with more exciting action after these words.
This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner, at 252 pounds, from parts unknown, Max, the missing link. And in the blue corner, at 238 pounds, from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Magnum T.A.
Action continues from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Popular Magnum TA against the man who came on the Mid-South area as the missing link, and a few weeks later, General Skandar Akbar told us that his name was Max.
Well, I'll tell you, the crowd is still excited. The Junkyard Dog, the North American champion. Mid-South knew what they were doing. They hired one of the most expensive main eventers in the world today, Dusty Rhodes, to come in and be the referee. That's how much they felt that the people had been cheated, and they said the people have made Mid-South. Magnum TA, a youngster who tried to stand up for America and got overpowered. And when I talked to Magnum, he said the Russian is awesome. Volkov is unbelievable. He said he just never stops. He said he's got so much strength he can get out of anything. But I'll tell you one thing, there's a young man, Magnum TA, that I've watched, and he's always, Boyd, been in the middle of everything happening. I mean, here's a kid came in here as Dusty Rhodes' protege, and the son of a gun is involved with tag championships, North American titles. He's up against the doubles. He's taken his lumps. He's been beat a few times. But let me tell you, the blue-eyed wonder, that good-looking kid, has really made the people realize he's an athlete. He's never quit. He's never backed down. He's never given up. And this is what makes a champion. I remember a young bully from Austin, Texas. His daddy was a plumber, son of a plumber, as he was proud to say. Dusty Rhodes, when he was the same guy, he took his lumps. He got beat up. He's got the scars to prove that he has the degree in the roughest business in the world. But he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't quit. He kept on coming, and he's the Stardust, the American Dream, Mr. USA. TA's a little bit ahead of the link. TA ahead of the link. And you see the TA's got a fantastic, a classic freestyle Greco-Roman move, a belly-to-belly suplex. and it can hit from anywhere. It's so devastating. Fireman's carry there. So devastating that all he has to do is hit you with it and stun you for 3 seconds. And he feels that he can execute it with anybody at a given time and catch it. So he says it's a gamble for them every time. I got nothing to lose and everything to gain, and I'm going to go out and give it my all. And you can't fault that attitude.
And he's met every test and challenge that's come before him here on Mid-South Wrestling since coming. So nothing but the very top for this youngster as he rises in professional wrestling. Magnum TA.
Body check. Oh, the link is awful agile. Tremendously agile. There he goes, that crazy style of his. He's punishing, man. Another youngster we've been thrilled to watch, Steve Dr. Death Williams. We don't get to see him a lot on television. He's completing his last semester at the University of Oklahoma. Uh-oh. TA's in a world of trouble there. The referee trying to stop. TA caught him a suplex. Right in midair, a suplex and wrapped him up. That's what I mean. It only takes 3 seconds and the Magnum won.
Magnum TA takes a tremendous victory over Maximus Link. We'll return with more action after this word from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner, at 313 pounds from Moscow, Russia, Nikolai Volkov. And in the blue corner, at 237 pounds from Columbus, Georgia, former North American heavyweight champion, Jerry Oates.
And Boyd, you see a bag of American wheat laying there. The Russian, during the commercial break, was making quite a protest over it. Former North American champion Jerry Oates. The Russian is going just like the dreaded juggernaut Russia's known for. Number one, Russia wrestling is the national sport. And they're at it as kids. It's almost like being professional there as a child even. And that Russian is so upset over being taken, the title being taken. He walked in with a bag of wheat, American wheat. He said, it's just like America. You sell the wheat. Then when something doesn't go your way, you take the deal back. He said, well, Magnum TA sold his soul trying to stand up to the United States and wasn't man enough. He was a coward, just like all of the United States wrestlers who failed to even show up for the Russian Olympics. He came here, he won the title fair and square, and then we've taken it away from him. Just like the United States tries to use wheat in the grain deals. And he told me, he said, one of these days, the United States will have nothing. Russia now has 60% of the world. It's going to get the oil in the Far East. It's going to get the minerals in Africa. And then pretty soon, we'll be having to give the wheat to stay alive, the Canadian wheat and all the other wheat, that they'll control it. And this is a symbolic protest by the Russian, that bag of wheat. The Russian viciously attacking Jerry Oates. And Jerry's a former North American champion. I mean, he's a tough guy. If you want to just get a comparison about how awesome this Russian is, I've not seen anybody that could even come close to slowing him down yet. It's like Salamenko, the current Russian world's champion in amateur wrestling. I've seen some tough studs go against him, and he just dominates them seemingly at will. Bruce Baumgartner, the finest young heavyweight the United States has had in a long time, and Bruce wrestles a tremendous match. He dominates wrestling in the United States, and yet Salamenko seemingly just goes out and just does enough to beat Bruce and make Bruce look bad on one or two key moves. Jerry Oates trying to stand up against this onslaught. You can see the power, the methodicalness, the technique, the strength. This man deadlifted 600 pounds when he was 17 years old. There, even though he's got the tremendous strength, he used the skill to trip Oates to the mat, pressuring him heavily. Nikolai Volkov.
Bill Nikolai Volkov, like you pointed out, is powerful, he's strong, he's rugged, he's arrogant, but he has that important ingredient. He has confidence, and I'm just waiting for some United States American red-blooded boy to really take him down, and it'll happen.
Well, after what just happened here, we know what's going to happen. Here's a man who won the title, had it taken away from him, whether you like him or not, he had it taken away from him, and it wasn't taken away in the ring, and the Junkyard Dog won the title. There's going to be a confrontation, the USA versus Russia. It's going to be the Junkyard Dog and Nikolai Volkov, the Russian missiles, as he calls himself, against a powerful youngster. Look how strong he is. Jerry Oates is a big man. He just picks him up like a sack of wheat. and slams him to the mat and pins him. There's no doubt those shoulders are flat.
Nikolai Volkov, the Russian powerhouse, gains a victory over Jerry Oates. We'll be back with more matches after these words.
This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner at 252 pounds from New York City, Tom Stanton. Coming into the ring now at 240 pounds from St. Louis, Missouri, the Iceman, King Parsons.
This event, in the purple, Tom Stanton, and you see the man shedding his clothes across the ring. His opponent, King Parsons, the Iceman. A tremendous battle coming up. Pee Wee Anderson is the referee, and here's Bill.
Well, I'm looking forward to this youngster. He is dynamite. Comes into We Are Family by Sister Sledge. Willie Stargell made a national anthem as the Pirates of Pittsburgh went into the World Series. And the Iceman, he can do it. You know, I was asking him before today's matches how he got the name the Iceman. He said when he was going to the university, Lincoln University up there in Missouri, he had to work at the ice factory, the ice dock, putting himself through school, earning his degree. And he said, all the ladies said, you got the iciest hands but the warmest heart. And so he said he's the Iceman. And the Iceman cometh. And look at the moves. He's just fluid motion. What an exciting day. What an exciting day.
And the fans here at ringside, when the music was played, We Are Family, they all came to the feet greeting this youngster, and thus far he has proved their confidence. Iceman King Parsons against Tom Stanton.
Oh, he's just so quick. And the Ali shuffle there, Muhammad Ali made so famous. And Iceman he's here. He's got the hands of ice, but a warm heart. I love it. We've just been handed a note here. Grizzly Smith has handed a note that he's met with Dusty Rhodes and Hacksaw Jim Dugan. And next week, the American Dream and Jim Dugan will go against Butch Reed and Jim the Anvil Neidhart for the Mid-South Tag Titles right here on TV. Also, Leaping Lanny Poffo will be here. The Iceman will be back next week. So a lot of big action. Stanton going to that big elbow drop, those high-risk moves. You get a lot of amplitude in them, but sometimes the guy's not there, and it doesn't make a lot of difference if you don't connect. Iceman on a roll. He's staying right on top of him. Oh! That's getting down to the end of it, I guess. I don't know exactly what that maneuver's called.
Well, you have to be prepared to use all parts of your body, and that's just what Iceman King Parsons did. He gained a victory over Tom Stanton, and we'll have more action coming up after this word.
It's tag team action now for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner at 295 pounds from Reno, Nevada, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And his partner at 285 pounds from Austin, Texas, Big Bobby Duncombe. And in the blue corner at 235 pounds from Columbus, Georgia, Marty Oates. And his partner at 245 pounds from St. Joseph, Missouri, Mike Bond.
Tag team action now as popular Mike Bond and Marty Oates, dressed in black, take on their opponents dressed in black. Not only rugged grapplers, but they're tremendous athletes in the form of Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Big Bobby Duncombe.
Two more former pro football players. Neidhart, who played for the Oakland Raiders and Dallas Cowboys. Big Bobby Duncan played for the St. Louis Cardinals. Bobby Duncan out of West Texas State University. Same place that turned out Stan the Lariat Hansen. Bruiser Brody. Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk, and Dusty Rhodes. Mercury Morris. You'll name some great athletes who come out of that university. And of course, Jim the Anvil Neidhart is just awesome. He's upset, I'm sure, because he and Reed have formed a really tight-knit organization. They call themselves the Wrecking Machine, the Wrecking Crew, and they've really been taking advantage of people. They put some bad lumps on Dugan and on Junkyard Dog. And of course, what really gets me is in the interviews, Jim Neidhart keeps talking about cleaning Hacksaw Dugan up, that he's worried about there being lice, vermin, or fleas, whatever, bugs of some sort in Dugan's beard. He's kind of picking on Dugan's lifestyle there a little bit. Dugan's a proud man, a proud American, and he said he'll live his life any way he wants. But it's kind of a funny situation to have a man that dresses and walks around like Jim the Anvil Neidhart talking about Dugan needing to soap and clean up and maybe get a little flea powder. I don't know if that Neidhart gets too close to that shower either. And I'm not saying that Jim Dugan doesn't, certainly. Again, I don't get into that part of their lifestyle at all, but I just think it's a paradox for Neidhart to be up here saying he's going to clean up Jim Dugan. Of course, Skandar Akbar has invited Jim Dugan to the Akbar barbershop for a shave and a few other things. So a lot of people are really starting to pick on Hacksaw Dugan's lifestyle. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and just imagine a blacksmith like him, but he took a 100-pound blacksmith's anvil, threw it 22 feet 5 inches at the Calgary Stampede to be the world's champion in the anvil toss. And that's some feat. It's also number 1 in the world at age 18 on the shot put, number 5 in the world 1978 on the shot put. So the man has got some powerful shoulders as he swings, and Mike Bond ducked. Mike Bond was trying to get out of the way of Neidhart's wild haymaker. He ducked under that, but they tagged behind him, and Bobby Duncan came in, and there Bobby Duncan drives him into the mat, tags Neidhart in. And I think Mike Bond is a good game youngster, but he has just been outgunned. There's that fall-away fireman carry that just devastated Neidhart, does it? Neidhart, one half of the Mid-South Tag Champions.
Rick Ferreira counts 1, 2, 3, and the tag team winners, Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Big Bobby Duncan. Action will return after these words from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner at 232 pounds from Huntsville, Alabama, Doug Vines. And in the blue corner at 245 pounds from Chula, Mississippi, King Cobra.
In the black and the blonde-haired star from Huntsville, Alabama, Doug Vines against the orange trunk, popular King Cobra. Man with a lot of moves, Bill.
I'll tell you, he's one of my favorites. I think he's a great athlete. Chula, Mississippi, I'm pretty proud of King Cobra. We don't get to see him a lot here, but he comes in and gives it his all. He takes on some tough hombres. Powerful youngster, quick. Doug Vines, time fast running out. There's been a lot happen today. The new North American champion, the official North American champion, is now the Junkyard Dog. The Russian Nikolai Volkov, who last week won that title in New Orleans, has been stripped of the title. It was not a sanctioned match. He is livid, he's upset, he's protested. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, was hired by Mid-South at great expense. Flew in here from Charlotte, North Carolina, to be the referee. Mid-South says the people had picked the dog to be the opponent, and they weren't going to be cheated out of that. Next week, we're going to have American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Hacksaw Jim Dugan against Hacksaw Butch Reed and Jim the Anvil Neidhart for the Mid-South Tag Team title. Flying head scissors by Cobra. Unique. Hey, he caught his leg. He's got him. I've not seen that move in a long time. Out of a flying head scissors, caught his leg and pinned Doug Vines. I think Doug Vines was surprised at unusual maneuver. Something that you only see a guy like the King Cobra do. Boy, what an exciting day it's been.
He caught him and brought him out in the center of the ring for the 1, 2, 3 pin. Till then, our time's gone. For Bill Watts, I'm Boyd Pierce saying goodbye, everybody, from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. I'm your host, Boyd Pierce, and we have a lot of exciting action. The Mid-South Tag Team titles will be on the line. Hacksaw Butch Reed and Jim the Anvil Neidhart take on, listen to this, Hacksaw Jim Dugan and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Another wild battle will see the Junkyard Dog in the ring against Big Bobby Duncombe. We have all the top stars here. We have a top star to tell you about it. The expert commentator is our guest, Cowboy Bill Watts.
Well, thanks, Boyd, and I'm so proud of Mid-South. I tell you, it's got tons of mail because the people realize that Mid-South want the people to be well represented also. And you mentioned the Junkyard Dog, and that's the whole crux of the matter. The Junkyard Dog is the North American champion in the most unusual circumstances. I think you said it so well, in over 30 years you'd ever heard of a wrestling organization standing up and reverting back, stripping the title from Nikolai Volkov through a series of events, putting it back on Reed and making Reed wrestle the man the people had selected 3 weeks ago, the Junkyard Dog, and then at great expense, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, was a surprise referee. Let's rejoin Reeser Bowden for that great announcement that happened here last week.
This is a title match for the North American Heavyweight Championship. This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner, at 260 pounds from Kansas City, Missouri, the North American Heavyweight Champion, Hacksaw Butch Reed. Coming into the ring now, the opponent that the audience chose themselves, at 295 pounds from Tennessee, the Junkyard Dog.
This event.
And we're waiting right now for the referee that has been chosen by Mid-South Wrestling, the very special referee, to come into the ring right now. We've got a special referee that has been appointed by Mid-South Wrestling.
I got 2 Super Bowls for you.
We're waiting right here to see who this shirt fits. Well, here comes the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty Rhodes is the special referee.
Well, Boyd, I'll tell you, I'm just like you. Chill bumps are broken out of me. I'm so proud of Mid-South. And Dusty Rhodes, they must have paid a pretty penny to get him. And did you notice the music when the dog came out is the old dog music, Another One Bites the Dust. I think the dog was really disappointed. A lot of the life was taken out of him when the fans had selected him and he got cheated out of that match. Of course, the Russian Nikolai Volkov, he is livid. And there's the American Dream, and brought in here specially to be this referee. And whoever wins this match by whatever method is going to be the North American champion. And of course, Dog's been having a lot of trouble with Butch Reed and his new partner, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, as has Hacksaw Dugan. Butch Reed's calling himself the Legend Buster. He says he's been beating the Junkyard Dog in all the matches. The dog has been made famous. And Reed has really been on a roll, but it's been with a lot of help from a heavy-duty hitter called Jim the Anvil Neidhart. But with the American Dream, the referee, and as he gives the instructions. The Junkyard Dog felt he'd been backed by the people and by Mid-South, given a chance. His old music, Another Bites the Dust. Dusty Rhodes is referee. Let's go for the closing moments where the Junkyard Dog captured the North American title and Dusty Rhodes kept Jim the Anvil Neidhart from spoiling it. JYD fighting out, fighting hard. Battling Reed. JYD is in a tough battle with Butch Reed and is in that corner. Headlock. Oh, the Dream's in the way. Oh, what a collision, what a collision. Seems like no matter what happens, that Butch Reed keeps coming up with it. Crowd chanting for Dugan, they want Dugan, but it's up to Dusty Rhodes out there to handle this match. Powerful slam by Butch Reed. Reed going up to do that slingshot, that devastating slingshot off the top rope we've seen him do. But he underestimated the dog. The dog slams him open. Look at the howl. Listen to the dog howl. He knows he's getting it. Here comes Neidhart. Neidhart's behind the dog and he doesn't see him. Neidhart tackles the dog. He tripped the dog. Neidhart tripped the dog in. Oh, the dog is still alive. He's still cooking. There's Neidhart coming from behind, but there's the Green. Dropping the bionic elbow. The Green dropping the bionic elbow. He's got Neidhart out of there. The Mid-South knew what they were doing when they sent the American Dream to be the special referee. Look at that howl. Cold-blooded, curdling howl. The JYD. There he's got Reed up in the thump. And Jim Neidhart. Dusty Rhodes.
One, two, three.
People's champion, the Junkyard Dog.
There he is, the Junkyard Dog with the old music, his old self, and look at that physique. And he raised his hand high, the special referee, Dusty Rhodes, the new North American Heavyweight Champion, the Junkyard Dog. Now you viewed what happened, and we have more exciting action. The Mid-South Tag Team Championships coming up, and you'll be able to view it along with us right after these important messages.
This is a title match for the Mid-South Tag Team Championships. This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner, the Mid-South Tag Team Champions at 260 pounds from Kansas City, Missouri, Hacksaw Butch Reed. And his partner at 295 pounds from Reno, Nevada, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. In the blue corner at 282 pounds from New York City, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And his partner at 265 pounds from Austin, Texas, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Tag team action now for the Mid-South Tag Team titles. The challengers, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, against the men with the belts, the Mid-South Tag Team title holders, Hacksaw Butch Reed and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Your referee for this title bout, Rick Pereira. Here's Bill.
Oh boy, that started off with a bang here, I'll guarantee you. And we got 5 standby matches. The Junkyard Dog against Bobby Duncombe, King Cobra against Nikolai Volkov, Leaping Lanny Poffo against Tom Stanton, the Iceman against the Missing Link, Marty and Jerry Oates against Art Cruz and Larry Higgins. But we got the title bout first, and it has precedence over everything. American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and Jim Hacksaw Duggan. Those Mid-South tag titles, and Duggan just clothesline. Jim the Anvil Neidhart sets in that stance to give that spear, and Neidhart knows he better get on his skates and get out of there. Neidhart, no stranger to a clothesline. Hacksaw Reed, who is so upset, and he's trying to take a little venom out on Dusty Rhodes right now. Talk about upset. Listen to these people. They love it. This place, Irishman Neal Boys Club, is going upside down tonight. I'll guarantee another man upsets Nikolai Volkov, who has demanded time to speak and lodge a formal protest. He said he's called the Russian embassy, and he wants to lodge a formal protest over the way the North American title was taken from him. Of course, he was not in a sanctioned match, just an emotional young man, T.A., who wouldn't back down, wouldn't let the United States be put down by this badgering, bullying Russian. Mid-South made that landmark decision. Nikolai Volkov says the American Dream, if Dusty Rhodes is your American Dream, you better buy Russian war bonds. He can't stand Dusty Rhodes. But the American Dream, the people love him, and Hacksaw Butch Reed found out Dusty Rhodes could do a lot more than just referee. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I'm telling you, I just can't believe some of the matches Grizzly Smith comes up with. I think, boy, than the correspondence we get, and I want to thank the people that there's often reference made to they watch wrestling from Atlanta all over the country. Satellites out of Madison Square Garden, and this is the finest wrestling they've seen. And Hacksaw, listen to the crowd cheer when Hacksaw Duggan comes in. Hacksaw Duggan and Hacksaw Butch Reed, a battle of hacksaws, and there's no love lost in this ongoing battle. Oh, shoulder breaker. You see Anvil Neidhart looking in. Neidhart, the man who's been making derogatory remarks about the lifestyle and the personal hygiene of Hacksaw Duggan. Oh, Dugan leaped that man just like a running back, leaped him again. And he crossbody block, 1, 2. Whoa, I thought we had a title change right here. Mid-South, in the last month, Boyd Pierce, these titles have been changing like you wouldn't believe. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. North American Championship back where I think on the finest athlete in the world today, the Junkyard Dog. But on one show 3 weeks ago, both the North American title, although it became an unsanctioned bout, and the Mid-South tag, which was sanctioned, did stand, changed hands on the same exciting, action-packed hour. There's American Dream dropping it in on Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Neidhart, welcome to Mid-South Wrestling. You've been running roughshod off everybody out. Neidhart coming in, jumping them from behind. Snapmare. American Dream, oh, he does. American Dream got that experience. He knows how to hurt you with every move. That fast rake to the eyebrows. Using that weight as a fulcrum, snaps him over in a headlock, takes him to the mat.
American Dream Dusty Rhodes with the experience. He has the know-how. He has the charisma. The fans love him. His opponents dread him. That's Dusty Rhodes.
Hacksaw Butch Reed's been saying he's going to show the people that the Junkyard Dog's yellow. He's going to paint a yellow streak up the dog's back. Now, I'd have to say in order to do that, he'd have to find the dog just ready for burial in a casket or something because, oh, but Reed caught the Dugan's back, so maybe there'd be a way. I don't know. He caught Dugan in the back. Crowd starting to chant, Dugan, Dugan, Dugan. Headlock, Dugan fighting out of the headlock, but he doesn't see the tag behind him, and Reed is punishing. Reed is really going after where he drove that knee from the outside into the kidney area. Reed said he is a legend buster, that he's beat the Junkyard Dog in every match the dog's made famous. The ghetto match, the dog collar match, and now he's going to paint a yellow streak up his back and take him down on his dog collar, down through the projects into the ghetto, and let everybody see how yellow dog is. That he's made some big boasts before. Of course, he's filled a few of them. Snapmare. Goes for that elbow, and Hacksaw Dugan rolls out. Dugan going for the tag. They cut him off. They cut him off. Dusty's hand reaching out. He's wanting in there. They know they got to keep pushing men in there all the time, but these are tough, tough guys. Listen, tag is made. Tag is made. Dugan cut off again. Neidhart and Reed. Oh, tremendous body slam. That Neidhart has one of the hardest body slams I've ever seen. He drives him through. He looks like he's trying to put him clear to China. Oh, Dugan, tag. The Dream comes in, floats like a butterfly, sting like a bee. There it goes. A little bully from Austin, Texas. I guarantee you he's been in some wars, and he's a general. Now Hacksaw Dugan coming in. It's all four men there. Dugan just punishing Butch Reed. The referee putting Dugan out. He's not legally in. Reed, oh, Reed discollected one. Reed put right on the floor. Dusty Rhodes, American Dream. There's Neidhart. Crossbody block by Rhodes. He's got him. 1, 2. No, Reed pulls Rhodes out by the hair. You got a fight going. You got a fight going there. Dugan's keeping Neidhart from jumping in from behind. Dusty Rhodes. Oh! Volkov just hit Dusty Rhodes in the head with a 100-pound bag of wheat.
Rick Ferreira called for the bell.
He just ran Dusty's head into that steel post. Volkov hit him with that 100-pound bag of wheat, split it all over. But the bell is called. They got him in a Boston Crab. They got Dugan in a Boston Crab. The referee's called for the DQ, but Rhodes is unconscious. He cannot help him. He cannot help him. Here comes Magnum TA. Magnum TA. Magnum TA coming to help him. Here comes the Junkyard Dog in. Dusty Rhodes has not moved. He's laying out here on that cold concrete floor. And there's some wild action going inside there. Griffin shows he can kick too. But Dusty Rhodes has not moved. There's wheat scattered all over. The referee coming to see about Dusty Rhodes. But in the ring, Hacksaw Reed. Disqualification.
There you have it. The referee, Rick Ferrer, calling for the disqualification as we try to get things settled down. We'll pause and be back with more action.
Reed Neidhart beat it out of here, but I'll tell you,
We'll be right back on Mid-South Wrestling.
This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner, at 285 pounds, from Austin, Texas, Bobby Duncombe. And at 295 pounds from Tennessee, the Junkyard Dog.
285-pound big bad Bobby Duncombe against the People's Choice, the Big Thump, the Junkyard Dog. Johnny Martinez, the referee, and he called for the bell.
that's right, 6'6", 285-pound Bobby Duncombe. You could have to call him Mr. A tough stud from Texas against the North American champion, the Junkyard Dog. And during the commercial break, I want to thank the Irish McNeil helpers here for getting out and sweeping up the wheat. Dusty Rhodes was carried to a dressing room on the ground floor here. We do not know. He was helped out by Magnum TA, the Junkyard Dog, and two other referees. Officially, the match was a disqualification, and the titles did not change hands. I don't think that Reed and Neidhart, that there was a collusion situation there. I think that the Russian thinks that Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, represents the United States and was making that brutal type of protest and throwing that wheat, that 100-pound bag of wheat that just split wide open when it hit Dusty over the head. But that's so much weight, only a man that strong could power it over his head and deliver a blow with it. And then he picked Dusty up and ran him in the post. I'm sure Mid-South will certainly take some type of retaliatory action against the Russian financially. The Junkyard Dog against Big Bobby Duncombe. Then King Cobra will be against Nikolai Volkov. Leaping Lanny Poffo versus Tom Stanton. The Iceman against the Missing Link. Marty and Jerry Oates versus Art Cruz and Larry Higgins. It's the remainder of the card, providing we have television time, and it's been a wild evening. During the break, I was talking to some of the fans, and they were saying, get new referees. Let me tell you, no referees can control that. Those referees made the right decision. It was a disqualification. The titles did not change hands on disqualifications. They said, well, get Dusty as a referee. We had Dusty here as a referee last week. Mid-South went to that expense, but Dusty Rhodes, no main eventer, is going to go referee matches everywhere. They just cannot get the tremendous percentage of the gate they get as big-time main event wrestlers. Dusty Rhodes in demand all over the country. And here, as you see, he went into that Mid-South tag title needed with a superstar like Dusty. People are headhunting him because they want to whip Dusty Rhodes and have it get around.
Not only that, Bill, but the only decision that could be rendered was a disqualification.
That's right. There's no fault there in the officials. Those officials are not geared to physically control these people. And when I was wrestling, if the official could have handled my opponent, then I shouldn't be in there. You know, and I'm not trying to say that in any type of pompous way, but I mean, if the official was as physical and in the condition and had the knowledge that I have, he should be wrestling. He could make more money instead of refereeing. That's why you get top guys like this right here, the Junkyard Dog and Big Bobby Duncombe. And Duncombe, 285 pounds, is smashed to the mat by JYD. The old JYD. JYD is back.
North American heavyweight champion into tremendous physical condition too, Bill, I'll tell you.
Armbar. Hacksaw Jim Dugan was just almost in tears over that match. Dugan wants to beat Reed and Neidhart so bad. Magnum TA came to the rescue immediately. Then the Junkyard Dog. These guys, they want to beat these guys so bad. There, Bobby Duncombe held on to the ropes. Dog went for that side suplex. And Duncombe held on to the ropes, a ring-wise, cagey veteran. He's a brutal, tough, rugged guy. He and I were tag partners in Georgia for about a year. And I'm guarantee you, I know how tough he is. He's against a stallion. A Junkyard Dog. Duncombe battering and cuffing him with those heavy-duty forearms. There's Duncombe. Whoa! Oh! Oh, wow! Did you see that? His head almost decapitated Big Bobby Duncombe. Here comes the dog with another one. Well, welcome to Mid-South, Bobby Duncombe, and meet the Junkyard Dog up close in person. 1, 3.
The North American Heavyweight Champion, the People's Choice, the Junkyard Dog, with a hard-earned victory over Big Bobby Duncombe. We'll be back with more action after these important words.
This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner at 313 pounds from Moscow, Russia, Nikolai Volkov. And in the blue corner at 245 pounds from Chula, Mississippi, King Cobra.
The powerful grappler from Russia, Nikolai Volkov, against 100% American from Chula, Mississippi, King Cobra, as Pee Wee Anderson calls for the bell.
We just received word that Dusty Rhodes has been taken from the arena. He's on his feet. He's badly stunned, but he has been taken from the arena. Nikolai Volkov has demanded time on Mid-South in order to lodge a formal protest that he's called the Russian embassy. He will be given that time after the next bout, providing there's television time remaining. King Cobra against Nikolai Volkov. A juggernaut, a powerful, heartless, devastating, proud, vain athlete. Says that the United States wouldn't come to the Russian Olympics. He came here to prove right here in our own background. This is the aggressiveness. This is what's happening. Russia controls 60% of the world now. Even Russia and the advisors in Grenada, whatever. At some point, the line has to be drawn. They have to be stopped. Steve Dr. Death Williams, I know I'd give his eye teeth thrust at this guy. He's such a patriotic man, he can't stand Russian wrestlers. The one thing you've got to realize when you're against a Russian athlete, a Russian wrestler, they are the best. They don't even get out of that country to come over here and compete. King Cobra's giving his best. Wow, but the powerful man, 2 feet right in the face. King Cobra, his attack came to a sudden halt. And the man is merciless. The legal bottom of the foot stomps. As long as he's stomping with the bottom of the foot, he can stomp you till dusk, from daylight to dusk, and it's legal. And each one of those massive stomps may not have the cutting power like with the toe. That's why they can't do it, but it has a tremendous drive. It goes into your back, your chest, over your lungs, and it drives the oxygen out of you. And oxygen is your fuel source when you're an athlete. And without oxygen, there he goes. Look at the power. Look at this man's power. So deliberate. And this is a great young athlete. We've seen this guy against phenomenal athletes, and he has devastated them. What will happen with he and the dog? What will happen with he and Dusty Rhodes? What will happen with the American Dream, who's been in some battles? Hacksaw Bill. There he goes, a tremendous suplex. Cradle.
Nikolai Volkov continues his powerhouse assault on American grapplers and gains a victory. We'll be back with more action after this word from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This has been a crazy day. It's been unusual. It's always unusual in Mid-South, but I think this tops it. During the last commercial break, the most unusual incident I've ever witnessed happened. Butch Reed, I think, has flipped his lid, and you and I were sitting here watching, and I guess our comments, I don't even know what they were on this. Director Orlink is going to replay what happened during the commercial break with Butch Reed and King Cobra. I apologize for anything we may have said that's wrong, Boyd Pierce, but we'll play it because I'm sure there's going to be heavy action taken over this. Let's roll that now. What is Butch Reed doing now? What's Butch Reed doing? Got a can of paint and a brush. no man is his brother. Oh, he just threw the referee out. Well, it looks like we got some action we didn't bargain for, boy. Butch Reed is punishing King Cobra for no reason. No reason. He's got him up into a slam. Cobra was just devastated. Oh, he was just devastated by Volkov, and now Reed's on him. I don't know why. There's no reason.
I'm like you, Bill. Butch Reed is in the ring, but I don't know what for.
I think the man's flipped his lid, boys. I think the man has flipped his ever-loving lid. This thing with him and the dog has driven him mad.
There's a third referee in there trying to halt him, and out he goes.
I'll guarantee you those refs don't want him back in there, and I don't blame him. He's crazy. He got the yellow paint. He's a yellow paint.
What in the world?
That's a direct challenge at the Junkyard Dog. The yellow paint. Reed has challenged the Junkyard Dog.
Right down the middle of his back.
Right down the middle of his back. Here comes the dog with his chain. Reed better get out of there. I think that picture is worth 1,000 words. There's nothing at this time we can do about it. It will be sent to Tampa to Charlie Lay. I'm sure some action will be taken. But again, I think that Butch Reed, the thing with he and Junkyard Dog, has him demented, Boyd Pierce. And I'm sure King Cobra, a valiant young man, he'll want a chance to retaliate also. Right now, let's go to Reeser Bowden in the ring.
This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner, at 252 pounds from New York City, Tom Stanton. And in the blue corner at 236 pounds from Lexington, Kentucky, Leaping Lanny Poffo.
Leaping Lanny Poffo been introduced. He came upon the Mid-South scene some 3 weeks ago and captivated the fans here, and in this match he'd like to capture a victory over Tom Stanton, who's dressed in the purple as Rick Ferreira calls for the bell.
I'll tell you, Leaping Lanny's got a lot of confidence turning his back on people on Mid-South, especially after what he just saw to get out of that robe. If I were Lanny, I'd learn to take that robe off facing my opponent unless I had eyes in the back of my head. Oh, what a move by Leaping Lanny. Maybe he got something we all don't know. He nipped up there and was up in the on Tom Stanton before he knew it, and Stanton's trying to say to the referee he pulled his tights, but Leaping Lanny is a fantastic athlete. Again, the incident we just showed that happened during the commercial break, I think it behooves Mid-South to put everything right on the table and the fans be the judge. And Butch Reed has been talking now for some time on these interviews and on Mid-South about painting the dog yellow and showing everybody that the dog's a coward, put a yellow streak up his back. But that's a lot different if you're man enough to go out and say, hey, I'm going to whip you and paint you yellow, than to take somebody like Nikolai Volkov, the Russian juggernaut, had just devastated. And then you add Reed, one of the toughest men in wrestling, add your punishment, and then paint that man yellow. I don't know if Reed went to the ring with that in his mind, or was going to challenge the dog and just saw an opportunity, or what. But I'll guarantee you the dog is he's just foaming. Lanny Poffo, from the famous Poffo family, tremendous athlete. Great moves. People are really with him. Again, Dusty Rhodes was taken from the building, was walking, was mobile, was very, very sore. And next, after this bout, after the commercial break, we will hear from Nikolai Volkov. Fantastic move by Lanny Poffo. He's got an unusual repertoire.
A lot of motion and a lot of moves, and it results in a victory for Lanny Poffo, and we'll be back following this word.
We have two more standby matches remaining. The Iceman against the Missing Link, Marty and Jerry Oates versus Art Cruz and Larry Higgins. But first, and probably the most unusual request we've ever had, demand, and I think it should be honored because the man had won what he thought was the North American Championship. Nikolai Volkov, who has registered a protest with the Russian embassy over the situation. He's in the ring now with Reeser Bowden, and he demands to lodge a public protest against Mid-South. We'll go to Reeser now.
Nikolai Volkov has insisted that he be allowed the time to make some comments.
That's right. I protest the Russian embassy, the kind of Mid-South sport taking my championship belt away from me. They take it away with the coward's way, like Americans do all the time. They don't show up at Moscow Olympic because they was cowards. Now they come here, they don't have nobody after I beat fair and square, the punk. They come here and take my belts away because they have nobody to come here and wrestle me like man to man to take my belt. That's why I protest. I don't protest attacking to Grenada. I protest for taking my belts away because that was the coward's way. Same way they come, they sign contract with the Russians to sell over it, and the Russians come with the money and they pull it back. Why? Why Americans don't have their word and keep their word and be like men and fight like men? They don't say, hey, do I hide behind somebody's back? When I come to this ring to fight, I come here and fight right to the face of the face.
He's got a fight right now, Boyd Pierce. American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and he's got his hands taped all the way to the elbows. He's dealing out misery and blues. He's dealing out misery, but he's going to shut the big fat Russian's mouth. Nikolai Volkov said he didn't have anybody to fight. Well, he's not showing that he wants to fight. Listen to the crowd. USA, USA, USA. American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and he's upset. And I don't know what the referee's trying to stop him for. Dusty stood his ground right in the middle of the ring. He's calling Reesa Bowden into the ring. Listen to this crowd. They're putting up a big #1 and USA.
I was born an American citizen. And my daddy died in this country here. And I've always been a big fan of the dogs, Dugan and everybody. But I tell you what, and you write it down in your book, this country belongs to the free. Russia is not part of my repertoire. When I watch TV, Volkov, and we put a man on the moon, and y'all can't even come close, then that's awesome. And when I see my baby walk across this free earth, that's awesome. And when I see people like the wrestling fans, no matter what damn color they are, that's awesome. And Volkov, I'm awesome. I am America. I am free. I am life. I am liberty. And thank God I don't have to live in a country like you do. One time, a lot of people died in other countries to make this country free. And Dog, and Dugan, and Ellen, you stand back. Because this was mine, baby. Volkov, you're mine.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Boy, there's nothing we can add to that.
Exactly what I was going to say, Bill. It's all been said.
We'll be back after these messages from Mid-South.
This event is for one fall or remaining television time. In the red corner, at 252 pounds from parts unknown, Max, the missing link. And at 240 pounds from St. Louis, Missouri, the Iceman, King Parsons.
Now you heard the introduction of the missing link, the man who General Skandar Akbar has told us his name is Max. And you heard the introduction of the Iceman, King Parsons. Bill, I believe you said something last week regarding King Parsons, and what was the saying?
Oh, I'd ask him where he got the name the Iceman. And when he was in college, he worked at an ice factory or ice dock. And he said all his lady friends said his hands were like ice, but his heart was warm.
Very good.
And the man, I've also asked him what that maneuver was, and he called it the rumper stumper. That's where he throws his posterior right up into their face. With his type of elevation and speed and power, you can see he can drop kick. He can do it all. He's just perpetual motion. He comes into the ring, the We Are Family sister sledge, and he gets it on. And I've known Dusty Rhodes a long time. I got to reflect back a minute, Boyd, and I remember one other person that came invaded this country, a man named Pak Song Nam with Gary Hart. And Dusty Rhodes walked tall. And there's nothing you've ever seen like the American Dream when he's walking tall. And he's talking to Dog and to Dugan and to Magnum TA. He says, I want him. And I imagine Grizzly Smith heard that. Been war here today. Sometimes people wonder why I'm horse leaving, and Boyd, it's just, I tell you, it's just tremendous excitement. Great athletes, fantastic matches, fantastic fans.
Bill, after Dusty Rhodes' statement, there needed no addition, no subtraction, no explanation.
No, it certainly didn't. But also you've got to remember, nobody's come head on onto that Russian yet, and even looked like they were slowing him down. The Dream came in with his old Son of the Plumber style, where he come out and he taught him and did for him just exactly with those taped fists. He did it the rough way. Right here at the State Fairgrounds, Irishman Hill Boys Club. I don't know if you can hear it, the fireworks at the State Fair are going off. It sounds like an artillery. It's not a Russian invasion. It might be a West Texas invasion, as Dusty Rhodes just invaded Russia and claimed back part of that 60% of the world that the strangling grip of communism has slowly engulfed. A missing link, and the Iceman. We also have Marty and Jerry Oates, Art Cruz, and Larry Higgins standing by, but we only got 2 minutes of television time remaining. The Iceman, King Parsons, against the missing link. I think the King has just got a little too much together for the link. Max out there just a little outclassed. Ooh, he had a little bit of explosion or implosion right there himself. Body check by the link. Another body check by the link. Going to the well once too often, I can guarantee you. The top pro, 1 minute airtime left next week. Oh, the rumper stumper right there, Boyd. 1, 2, 3.
You call that move just right, Bill. That's the explanation, and that's what the Iceman called it as he gains a victory over Max, the missing link.
And next week, your old compadre from Alexandria, the sports
Buddy
director,
Nichols.
Buddy Nichols will be here.
Look forward to Buddy being
Also,
here.
we have a special montage put together by Scott Munns at Mid-South Wrestling on Hacksaw Dugan. And you can just imagine there's a little furniture moving in there as we show some of the great contests where Hacksaw Dugan has participated.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, because Hacksaw Dugan, I tell you, he's really something, as you know, and I don't have to tell you. And, of course, Buddy Nichols, one of my favorite people from Alexandria, will be here. This week, a lot of excitement. Thank you so much for inviting us into your home. For our commentator, Bill Watts, Boyd Pierce, saying goodbye from Mid-South.